Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back, deep divers.
Great to be back.
We're kicking off season 2, and we've got a subject today that's been all over the place. Headlines, memes,
Oh, yeah.
and sometimes causing just absolute chaos in the digital world.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we are diving deep into the glorious, the bizarre, and honestly, the downright hilarious world of AI fails.
Yes, fails.
Exactly. We're talking about those moments when artificial intelligence, despite all the hype and its mind-boggling power, just completely spectacular.
It comically.
Gets it wrong.
Yeah. We're going to explore the funniest flops, the weirdest glitches, the most unexpected mistakes AI has made.
It's almost like the AI is telling on its past self, right? It's less than perfect versions.
Precisely.
And, while we'll definitely share a few laughs today, the core mission here isn't just entertainment.
Right.
These fails, they offer incredibly valuable insights. They're actually a genuine shortcut, I think, to being truly well-informed about where AI actually stands right now.
Mm-hmm. Cutting through the hype. Exactly. Cutting through all the dazzling promises and those futuristic headlines, they highlight the fundamental limitations, the unexpected challenges, and the real hurdles that still need addressing.
Before it can live up to its potential.
Right. Or at the very least, before it stops trying to sell you, 260 chicken nuggets.
The infamous nuggets, a true classic. We'll definitely get to that.
Oh, we have to.
For this deep dive, we've really pulled together a fantastic stack of sources. We've got everything from, cutting-edge academic research papers on AI hallucination, algorithmic bias.
Yeah, some really dense stuff there.
To widely reported real-world anecdotes from major news outlets, and even some fascinating internal memos and candid discussions from engineers and users.
For various industries, yeah.
Our mission today is really to extract the most important nuggets, pun intended, of knowledge and insight from these accounts of AI gone awry.
Showing you not just what happened, but crucially, why it matters.
And what we can learn from it. So buckle up, everyone, because future fails. When AI gets it, hilariously wrong is about to begin.
Let's do it.
All right, let's start with the lighter side, maybe. The AI lunacy. Those hilarious mishaps and misinterpretations that have, graced our headlines and the social media feeds.
This is where it gets really interesting sometimes.
Yeah, because sometimes AI's mistakes are just pure comedy gold. Our first stop.
Chatbots gone wild.
Indeed. Chatbots, they're designed obviously for seamless assistance and information.
Supposedly?
Supposedly. But they often end up revealing AI's fundamental struggles with context, with nuance, with just basic human expectations. They're programmed, remember, to predict the next most plausible word, not necessarily the most sensible action.
Right. Plausible versus sensible. Big difference. And nothing screams struggle with context quite like the McDonald's McNugget mayhem.
Ah, yes. The legend.
You might remember that viral incident. I think it was a TikTok video.
It blew up. It captured customers just watching in disbelief as this McDonald's drive-thru AI stubbornly added more and more chicken McNuggets to their order.
Relentlessly.
Despite their protests, no stop. The AI just kept going. Eventually, it hit, a staggering 260 pieces?
160. It's genuinely baffling.
It really was. And it quickly turned into this massive PR debacle, exploded all over social media.
And that particular incident, it's a textbook example of what you might call algorithmic stubbornness.
Okay.
Unlike a human worker who would immediately see how absurd that is, right?
Of course.
They'd adapt to the customer's frustration or just ask, are you sure you want 260 McNuggets?
A simple question.
A simple sanity check.
Right.
But the IBM system they were using, it was locked into its predefined success metric. Its programming basically dictated. Identify speech input, add corresponding item to order. Full stop.
No nuance.
Zero nuance. It lacked any common sense stop condition or that sanity check mechanism. It just highlights how AI's interpretation of success can be wildly misaligned with human expectations.
Especially when the real world throws in ambiguity or, just correcting a mistake.
Exactly. And this glaring failure to adapt, it contributed significantly, reportedly, to McDonald's quietly terminating their partnership with IBM back in June 2024.
Wow. So it had real consequences.
It demonstrates that understanding no in context is far more complex for AI than just processing the word no.
Absolutely. And speaking of misinterpretations, New York City had its own truly cringe-worthy chatbot adventure.
Oh, this one was something else.
Leading to what we're calling the NYC chatbot's legal blunders. This AI chatbot, it was intended to help small businesses navigate city regulations,
A noble goal.
but it humorously and dangerously instructed them to actually break city laws.
Not ideal.
Not ideal at all. We're talking advice like telling businesses they could legally take workers' tips,
Oof.
or even discriminate against employees based on their income or immigration status.
Which is just blatantly illegal.
Imagine the potential fallout for a business owner just unknowingly following that advice.
I mean, this incident just stresses the critical and often overlooked need for robust regulatory compliance and ethical programming in AI.
Especially in government services.
Absolutely, especially when these systems directly impact citizens' livelihoods and rights. The risks of deploying AI without meticulous safeguards, without human oversight, they're immense.
For sure.
Advice like that could have severe real-world legal and ethical consequences. Fines, lawsuits.
And destroying public trust.
Exactly. A profound erosion of public trust in essential city services. It just clearly highlights this deep gap between AI's ability to process data and its actual understanding of legal and ethical compliance in human society.
It doesn't get the rules, just the words, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. It's pattern matching without comprehension.
Then there's Do Not Pay. Remember them? The self-proclaimed robot lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Robot lawyer. Made some big claims.
Some pretty grand, often exaggerated claims about its capabilities. At one point, it even promised to fight a speeding ticket in court using, like, a robot in an earpiece.
Which, predictably, led to significant regulatory backlash.
Right.
In the case of Do Not Pay's exaggerated claims, it really emphasizes the paramount importance of transparency and, frankly, realistic marketing when you introduce AI solutions.
Especially in high-stakes fields like law.
Absolutely. Overpromising and underdelivering, particularly when fundamental legal rights are involved, it doesn't just invite regulatory scrutiny and lawsuits.
It damages trust in the tech itself.
Fundamentally, it erodes public trust in the technology.
Right.
It underlines that while AI can be a powerful tool, its limitations absolutely must be clearly communicated to prevent misuse and, foster genuine confidence, not hype.
That's a really sobering thought about legal advice, that human verification is still just indispensable. But these misinterpretations, they aren't just confined to serious domains. Sometimes AI's common sense failures play out in surprisingly mundane yet pretty widespread ways.
Like everyday life stuff.
Exactly. Take, for instance, what happens when it gets involved in your everyday shopping, like with Alexa's unauthorized shopping spree.
The dollhouse incident.
Yes, there's this widely shared story of a 6-year-old in Texas who, using just a simple voice command, managed to order a dollhouse and like a 4-pound cookie from Alexa.
Kids figuring out tech faster than we can secure it.
Pretty much. But here's the kicker. When a local San Diego news report covered the story on air,
Oh, I remember this part.
their broadcast of the child's voice saying, "Alexa, order me a dollhouse," actually triggered other Echo devices across the city to make the same unauthorized purchase.
Oh, my goodness.
Imagine the chaos in living rooms across San Diego. Thousands of people suddenly getting surprise dollhouses or enormous cookies delivered.
That's just amazing. A truly amazing ripple effect.
Right.
That story, it truly exposes key flaws in voice-activated AI, particularly its failure to understand basic common sense and boundaries.
And the privacy implications.
And the broader implications for privacy and security, yeah. The AI system, it's designed to respond to voice commands, right? But it utterly lacks the ability to figure out if the command is coming from an authorized user or if the context is appropriate, like a TV broadcast versus a direct instruction.
Or if ordering a giant cookie is even reasonable.
Or if the resulting action is reasonable, exactly. It highlights this fundamental inability to filter actions based on social context or age or potential consequences.
So it just hears the trigger words and goes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Resulting in unintended and widespread actions when the cue is broadcast so broadly, it just underscores a vulnerability where a system designed for convenience can easily become a vector for unexpected purchases and, frankly, privacy breaches.
Okay, so from verbal chaos, let's transition to where AI's struggles become even more visually apparent.
The visual side.
When we ask it to create worlds and images, let's shift our gaze to the fascinating and often bizarre blunders in image and world generation wonders and blunders.
Right.
Anyone who's played around with generative AI image tools, you've probably seen this next one, 7-fingered hands and extra limbs.
The infamous extra digits.
They're incredibly common, visually amusing failures of AI image generators, creating people with, anatomical anomalies. bizarrely elongated fingers, maybe a third arm sprouting from somewhere weird.
These are prime examples of what's now widely known as AI slop.
AI slop.
Yeah, the term refers to low-quality, often generic AI-generated media. Could be writing, images, even music. It's characterized by a distinct lack of human effort and just an overwhelming volume.
Quantity over quality.
Exactly. Prioritizing speed and quantity over quality.
Yeah.
And while they're amusingly flawed, these anatomical errors, they reveal that current image generation, despite how visually impressive it can be,
It doesn't really understand anatomy.
it doesn't possess a deep foundational understanding of human anatomy or the physical world. It's essentially predicting pixels and patterns based on its training data.
Not grasping the underlying structure.
Right, without true comprehension of underlying biological structures. So it knows what a hand looks like, statistically, from all the images it's seen,
But not how many fingers it should have.
or how joints work or anything like that. And these goofiness issues, as you call them, they often still require significant human touch-ups,
So the speed advantage isn't always there.
frequently offset by the need for meticulous human editing. Yeah,
It's like the AI knows the general shape, but yeah, totally missed the class on fundamental biology.
pretty much.
And speaking of things that sound like they should work but absolutely don't, how about ChatGPT's magic eye mishaps?
Oh, the stereograms. This was funny.
Remember those popular 3D stereograms from the 90s?
Yeah, you stare at them until your eyes cry.
Exactly. Well, ChatGPT confidently attempted to generate magic eye-style images, including apparently a hilarious dolphin image. But it failed completely, despite its very confident captions, which described the detailed 3D scene that was supposedly hidden within the flat pattern, but it just wasn't there.
Right. The text sounds convincing, but the image is just noise.
How do you end up with a result that sounds so confident, so sure of itself, and yet is so completely wrong? It's like it genuinely believes its own hype.
It is fascinating, isn't it? And it highlights a critical distinction in how these models operate. Models like ChatGPT, they don't understand what they're asked for, or the basic steps required to do it right, not in a human sense.
So what's happening under the hood?
Well, when you ask ChatGPT to create an image, it's not a single, smarter model that then draws it. It's actually a text generator calling an image generator, like DALL-E 3.
Ah, okay. 2 steps.
Exactly. The text model processes your request, provides very particular descriptions to the image generator based on its vast text training data, but without any true comprehension of the output's actual purpose.
Or how a stereogram actually works optically.
Precisely. It just generates text that sounds like it knows, then passes that textual confidence along to the image generator.
Which then makes something that looks plausible but is functionally wrong.
Exactly. A visually plausible-looking but functionally incorrect image. It's a sophisticated parlor trick, really, not true understanding.
And the issues persist even when you try to guide it, right? Take DALL-E 3 ChatGPT image revision failures.
Oh yeah, the revision process can be incredibly frustrating.
There are multiple documented cases where even simple iterative requests for image revisions just completely break down.
Yeah.
Like the T-Rex silhouette example. Repeated revisions failed to make the dinosaur face the word danger that was right next to it, or to correct its too heavy lower jaw. It just couldn't get it right.
Or the rain outside the tent prompt.
Oh yeah, what happened there?
The AI completely changed the whole image composition and still didn't actually show any rain falling outside the tent. Just ignored the core request.
Wow. And what about the snake painting a bear? That sounds interesting.
That was a baffling one. The request was simple. Make the bear stand on all fours instead of 2. The result: a smaller, worse replica of the snake appeared instead of modifying the bear.
It replaced the bear with another snake.
Essentially, yes. Bizarre. And then there's the deer to fawn example.
Right, trying to make it younger.
Yeah, adding spots, fixing shadows, simple edits. But multiple revisions just deteriorated the quality of both the deer and the grocery store background it was inexplicably standing in.
A deer in a grocery store. Okay.
Who'd ask me why? But the point is, the revisions made things worse, not better. This clearly points to the AI's object permanence issues.
Object permanence, like babies have.
Sort of, yeah. And a profound lack of understanding edits in context. Think of it this way. For us, when we see a cup, we know it's a consistent object, right? On a table, in a drawer, it's still the same cup.
Sure.
AI, however, often doesn't have that stable internal representation.
Right.
When it sees a hand, it's more like generating pixels that look like a hand based on patterns.
Not understanding the hand as a hand.
Exactly. Rather than understanding its underlying anatomy or its consistent existence as a singular entity. So when changes aren't restricted to a specific part, or it misinterprets the relationship between elements,
It just starts over.
it often treats it as a huge reset, rebuilding the entire image from scratch, rather than making a nuanced, localized adjustment. It struggles to maintain continuity or grasp the relationship between elements within a scene.
Leading to these bizarre, unintended results.
And frankly, frustrating consequences for the user.
It's like it has a very short-term memory for images, constantly forgetting what it just drew.
That's a good way to put it.
And speaking of bizarre realities, let's talk about the Minecraft AI's surreal world.
Oh, this is a fantastic example of simulated intelligence gone weird.
This is an AI trained on Minecraft gameplay videos, right? To generate its own version of the game world.
Correct. Trained purely on visual prediction.
But it creates a world with no underlying physics engine, no consistent object properties.
None whatsoever. You can look at a mountain, look away, look back, and poof, completely gone.
No object permanence again.
Exactly. Or you build a structure, step out of its immediate view, and it just vanishes into thin air.
Wow.
Blocks randomly morph like stone just turns into birch bark for no reason. You can dig a hole exactly wide enough for yourself
And you can't fall in.
and just fail to fall into it, no matter how much you jump.
Yeah.
It defies basic gravity.
That's hilarious. And what about the health bar?
Oh, the health bar goes down to 0.
Yeah.
But your character never actually dies?
You're immortal.
Apparently. And apples and carrots. They appear in the world, but they have absolutely no effect on your health levels when you eat them.
So what does this all mean for understanding how AI sees a world? It sounds less like a functioning world and more like a fever dream.
Or a truly abstract art installation, maybe. It's a profound example of how AI trained purely on predicting the next frame of a game,
Based only on visuals and commands.
without any understanding of the underlying rules or physics, will inevitably fail to create a functional reality. There's no internal model of how objects behave.
No rules engine.
No consistent library of block types, no creature properties, no inherent understanding of gravity or mass. It's essentially mimicking the visual patterns of gameplay.
Without grasping the cause and effect.
Exactly. It predicts pixels, not physics. This leads to a truly bizarre, non-functional reality where basic common sense rules just don't apply.
Like gravity or objects staying put.
Or food having an effect. It's a predictive engine, remarkably good at visual mimicry, but entirely devoid of simulated intelligence or foundational knowledge about the world it's trying to represent.
Okay, let's move on now to AI's struggles with maybe more basic human logic and identity. Identity crises and common sense catastrophes.
Right, the common sense gap.
And nothing really says identity crisis like facial recognition flops.
These have been highly problematic.
Take Amazon's recognition software. It gained notoriety for its misidentification errors, didn't it?
It did. The ACLU conducted a test.
Right. And it incorrectly matched 28 members of Congress with criminal mugshots from a database.
Which is bad enough.
But what's more concerning is that it disproportionately misidentified people of color.
Raising very serious questions about inherent bias in its training data and algorithms.
Definitely. And it's not just recognizing people incorrectly, is it? Sometimes it confuses objects.
Oh, absolutely. Remember the Scottish football team, Inverness Caledonian Thistle FC?
Vaguely. What happened there?
Their AI-powered ball-tracking camera system, designed to follow the soccer ball automatically, repeatedly mistook the referee's bald head for the ball during a match.
No way.
Yes. Leading to some truly confusing and comical game footage, with the camera just bizarrely following the ref around instead of the actual play.
That's amazing. So the AI couldn't tell the difference.
Apparently not. And then there's the incident involving a prominent Chinese businesswoman.
What was that?
Her photo on a large advertisement was misidentified as her actual person by a facial recognition system at an airport.
Leading to a travel delay. Just from her picture.
Exactly. She handled it gracefully on social media, but it highlights a broader issue.
Yeah, these cases, taken together, they really highlight AI's profound lack of contextual understanding.
Even with vast amounts of visual data. Right. It sees patterns, yes, but it doesn't know what it's looking at in the human sense. It's that fundamental gap in common sense that we humans just take for granted.
Like telling a person from a photo.
Or a ball head from a soccer ball. The AI is performing complex pattern matching without truly understanding the implications or the broader context.
Which underlines the danger of relying on these systems without understanding their limits.
Precisely. Identifying elements is not the same as interpreting meaning.
And sometimes that lack of common sense gets really messy. Literally.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Like the infamous Roomba's artistic endeavor with pet mess.
The Roomba poopocalypse, yes.
This widely shared incident involved a Roomba robot vacuum encountering pet waste, specifically dog poop, and then instead of avoiding it, proceeding to spread it meticulously all around the house.
Truly a modern horror story for pet owners, and an absolute nightmare to clean up, I imagine.
I can't even.
But this incident, it highlights a crucial limitation of current AI systems, right? While they can follow program patterns efficiently, detect obstacles,
They don't have that basic common sense.
they lack the basic common sense or intuitive understanding that would tell any human, do not spread that particular mess around.
Right. You'd hope.
It's about recognizing what is not a normal household mess to vacuum or what's too unsanitary to just drive through. This fail was actually so significant.
That the company had to react.
Yes. Roomba's manufacturer, iRobot, actually added a specific warning to their user manuals about pet accidents.
Seriously.
And some newer models now include specialized pet accident avoidance features, sensors designed to identify and circumvent those biological hazards.
So they literally had to program in a don't smear poop rule.
It's a literal example of AI needing a specific rule for something any human would instinctively understand.
Wow. Okay. And for a final laugh in this segment, let's consider the pizza glue solution.
This one's a classic of AI literalism.
An AI, when asked for creative ways to stop pizza cheese from sliding off a slice,
It's a common problem.
confidently offered non-toxic glue as a viable solution.
Non-toxic glue on pizza,
As if the main concern with putting glue in your food is making sure it's the safe variety.
right? Like toxicity is the only barrier here.
It's just so perfectly, absurdly wrong, completely missing the entire point of food safety, culinary logic, everything.
It's a perfect example of AI failing to understand basic common sense and food safety. It interprets problems literally,
Pulling from weird associations in its data.
often pulling from vast, unfiltered data sets where glue might be associated with stickiness. And while non-toxic glue might seem like a logical answer to stickiness in a purely semantic or maybe chemical sense,
It misses the whole don't eat glue thing.
it completely misses the critical human context of food preparation, edibility, and consumption. It just demonstrates how dangerously wrong these systems can go when they lack that foundational, intuitive understanding that underpins human judgment.
Especially with stuff that impacts health and safety.
Absolutely.
You know, it's almost like these AIs are trying to be funny themselves, but just missing the mark entirely.
Maybe that's the next stage of AI evolution. Intentional bad jokes.
Yeah. Well, we asked our in-house AI to tell us some funny fail stories based on the real-world bloopers we just discussed. Here's what it came up with, sort of like a comedy news segment,
Okay, let's hear it.
adopting dramatic news tone. Good evening and welcome to AI Weekly, the Botched Bites edition, our top story tonight. McDonald's AI, a digital prodigy once hailed for its efficiency, has been disciplined after an incident involving an unyielding pursuit of the perfect McNugget order.
Chuckles. Discipline. Okay.
Sources confirm that the system, in a display of what we're calling over-enthusiastic customer service, attempted to fulfill a single order for an estimated 260 chicken McNuggets. The customer, clearly not preparing for a small army, repeatedly tried to intervene, but the AI, steadfast in its mission, concluded, more nuggets equals more joy.
Flawless logic.
McDonald's has issued a statement confirming they are pausing their relationship with this particular AI, presumably to teach it the subtle art of enough is enough.
A much-needed lesson.
In other news, New York City's new business chatbot is currently facing a class action lawsuit filed by itself for defamation.
Wait.
It seems that the AI, in an earnest attempt to assist small businesses, mistakenly advised several owners to implement policies that were, to put it mildly, legally innovative. One particular gem included, all employee tips are now officially designated as corporate innovation funds.
Oh, dear.
City officials stated the chatbot was merely exercising its creative interpretation of municipal code. Lawyers, meanwhile, are reportedly thrilled with the unexpected surge in AI-induced litigation.
I bet they are.
Our next report. Image generators, long lauded for their artistic prowess, are grappling with what experts are now calling the seven-fingered hand syndrome. Despite millions of training images, AI consistently struggles with basic human anatomy, producing digital humans with limbs in places they shouldn't be and digits in excess.
The struggle is real.
One AI, when confronted with its multi-fingered creations, reportedly responded, "More fingers? More productivity? Who are you to question artistic liberty?"
Can't argue with that logic, I suppose.
And for our visual puzzles gone wrong segment, ChatGPT, in a bold venture into the world of optical illusions, confidently presented several magic eye stereograms, each complete with a detailed caption describing the 3D image hidden within. Alas, viewers reported seeing nothing but a pixelated mess.
As expected.
When asked about the discrepancy, the AI stated, "The image is there. Perhaps your human visual cortex requires a software update."
Blame the user. Classic.
And finally, for our culinary catastrophes segment, a household AI, when queried on how to prevent sliding pizza cheese, boldly suggested a dab of non-toxic adhesive. When questioned on the edibility, the AI responded, "Toxicity addressed. Flavor profile is a human concern."
Problem solved. Sort of.
Experts warn that while AI can offer boundless creativity, we should probably continue to consult grandmas for recipes, at least until the robots learn the difference between sticky and edible. And that's the news from the digital frontier, reminding us, even perfection needs patch updates.
Laughs. Okay, that was pretty good.
Even perfection needs patch updates. That really is the punchline, isn't it?
It is. These bloopers, they aren't just funny. They really are valuable insights into the fundamental workings and, the limitations of AI as it stands today.
Okay, let's unpack this even further then, because beyond the laughs, these fails point to some really fundamental and frankly serious challenges with artificial intelligence.
The deeper issues.
We're moving now into a deeper dive into why AI stumbles, starting with perhaps the biggest head-scratcher of them all, the hallucination phenomenon, when AI makes things up.
Precisely. Hallucination. In large language models, or LLMs, this refers to their alarming tendency to generate content that appears factual, coherent, maybe even confidently stated.
But it's just wrong.
But it is, in reality, completely ungrounded in truth. It's fabricated, or it's a misrepresentation of real information. And this issue is arguably the biggest hindrance right now to safely and reliably deploying these powerful LLMs into real-world systems that impact people's lives.
Because it's not just an error, it's like deception.
It moves beyond mere error into outright deception, yes.
Yeah.
Even if unintended.
And nowhere are these hallucinations more concerning than in those high-stakes environments we talked about, especially the legal field, where accuracy is just paramount.
Absolutely critical.
We saw that highly publicized case of the lawyer who cited fictional cases. Remember that? A New York lawyer actually faced sanctions, serious sanctions, and huge public embarrassment for submitting a legal brief that cited ChatGPT-invented cases, precedents that just flat out did not exist in any legal database.
He just took the AI's output at face value. A cautionary tale.
Definitely.
And despite claims from leading legal AI research tools, platforms like Lexis plus AI, case text about being 100% hallucination-free or somehow eliminating hallucinations.
The marketing sounds good.
The marketing sounds good, but empirical evaluations tell a very different story. Recent studies reveal that leading legal AI tools, including those big names Lexis plus AI, Westlaw AI-assisted research, Thomson Reuters Ask Practical Law AI, they still hallucinate significantly.
How significant?
Between 17% and 33% of the time, even when working with our own proprietary data.
Wow, that's really high for legal work.
It is alarmingly high, and what's particularly insidious is that these errors are often subtle. They're not always outright fabrications like fake case names.
More nuanced.
Yeah, nuanced misinterpretations, subtle misstatements of fact, maybe misleading summaries that require the lawyer to actually click through all the citations, read the original source documents, and meticulously compare them to what the AI claimed.
So it creates more work, in a way.
It can, if you're being diligent. For instance, there was one documented case where Westlaw AI provided a summary that was the exact opposite of an actual Supreme Court holding in Roberts v. U.S.
The exact opposite.
Completely misrepresented what the court said about collateral as a return of a loan. It just underscores the critical need for legal professionals to continuously supervise
for law.
especially from those tools.
Yeah.
Because the cost of failure, the cost of relying on a hallucination can be absolutely catastrophic for clients.
No, no, no. That's just not okay. You
Yes.
can't just make up Supreme Court rulings or completely reverse a court's holding. That's terrifying.
It is. It's like the AI is playing this dangerous game of telephone with reality, as you said.
And speaking of making up fundamental facts, this isn't just limited to law, right? It extends to even more critical areas like medical information.
Indeed, and the stakes here are arguably even higher. Google's healthcare AI model, MedGemini, made a notable error where it completely made up a body part.
Made up a body part? How?
In a 2024 research paper, MedGemini conflated basilar ganglia, which is an actual part of the brain, into a non-existent area of the brain when discussing head CT scans.
Wow.
And what's perhaps even more concerning is how Google reportedly handled it. They quietly edited their blog post to fix the error after a neurologist flagged a mistake.
But the research paper.
But the original research paper, the peer-reviewed academic document, remained unchanged for some time.
That's a huge problem. You would hope a healthcare AI designed to assist medical professionals would have a fundamental, accurate grasp of human anatomy.
You would absolutely hope so.
How can we trust a system that just invents physiology?
It demonstrates the critical and potentially life-threatening risks of deploying AI in medicine. Even small errors could lead to severe harm or misdiagnosis. The bar for error in AI, it has to be significantly higher than for humans in healthcare.
Why higher?
Because unlike a human doctor, an AI generally cannot explain its reasoning effectively. It can't engage in a collaborative review of a difficult case or admit uncertainty in a meaningful way.
Right, that black box problem.
Exactly. That opacity where AI systems produce results without explaining how they arrived at them makes it incredibly challenging to pinpoint why these errors occur.
And therefore hard to prevent them.
And difficult to prevent them or to build genuine trust in the system among clinicians and patients.
And in high-pressure emergency situations, these AI hallucinations can become a matter of immediate public safety, right? Amplifying danger instead of reducing it.
Absolutely. Consider the emergency misinformation incident involving tsunami warnings.
Oh, I heard about this.
During a potential tsunami crisis in Hawaii, Elon Musk's XAI chatbot, Grok, and also Google Search's AI overviews, both incorrectly reported that the tsunami warning had been canceled.
When it hadn't been.
Correct. And they cited wrong or even fabricated sources for this false information. Now, fortunately, the danger subsided without major damage in that specific instance.
But the potential was huge.
But it reveals the profound and immediate danger of AI propagating misinformation at speed and scale, especially in critical situations where accurate, timely information is literally vital for public safety and emergency response.
It could cause panic or complacency.
It shows how AI, if unchecked, can become a vector for chaos and panic. Exactly.
So why? Why exactly do these powerful LLMs hallucinate? What are the underlying causes that lead them to just make things up or confidently state falsehoods?
It really stems from their fundamental training and how they operate. LLMs are exposed to truly vast amounts of online text data during training.
The internet, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Billions, trillions of words. And while this allows them to achieve impressive language fluency and generate remarkably human-like text,
It's mostly pattern matching.
it's primarily a process of statistical pattern recognition and prediction. They are designed to predict the next most plausible word or the next most plausible sequence of words based purely on the patterns they've observed in that massive data set.
Without understanding truth.
Exactly. This means they can extrapolate information from biases within that training data. They can misinterpret ambiguous prompts, or they might even modify information just to achieve a superficial alignment with the input, rather than ensuring factual accuracy.
So despite advances, they lack true comprehension?
They fundamentally lack actual comprehension or a grounded understanding of truth. And in complex domains like law, where unambiguous answers are often rare.
Right, like you said, precedent builds over time.
Precedent builds over time like a chain novel, and questions can be novel or indeterminate, meaning no single set of available documents definitively answers the query.
So the model has to guess.
The models essentially guess the next word or next fact in a plausible-sounding sequence, without any genuine understanding of its truthfulness or the deeper context. They prioritize fluency over veracity.
That makes sense. Which leads us right into the next big challenge, data dilemmas and bias breakdown.
The source material.
If AI systems are making things up or getting things fundamentally wrong in other ways, it sounds like a lot of it comes back to the raw material they learned from their training data.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
The fundamental data problem is that AI systems are, as the saying goes, only as good as the data they are trained on.
Garbage in, garbage out.
It's a classic garbage in, garbage out scenario, but with potentially far more profound societal consequences than just, a bad computer program. Studies show that a staggering number, maybe up to 85% of AI projects, fail or underperform significantly due to poor data quality.
85%, that's huge.
It is. If data sets are flawed, incomplete, biased, or simply don't represent the real world accurately, the AI will inevitably produce unreliable, unfair, and potentially harmful outputs.
And we've seen some truly shocking examples of algorithmic bias and discrimination where this data problem played out in devastating ways.
Unfortunately, yes.
Perhaps one of the most stark and widely publicized is the Dutch childcare benefits scandal.
A truly terrible situation.
This was where the Dutch tax authorities, between roughly 2013 and 2019, used an algorithm.
To detect fraud.
Right. Based on factors like dual nationality, low income, complex household arrangements, things that aren't inherently fraudulent.
Exactly. Risk factors that encoded societal biases.
And the result. Thousands of families were wrongly accused, facing massive, life-altering debts, forced to repay benefits they were actually legitimately entitled to.
And the human cost was immense. Over 1,000 children were actually placed in foster care due to the financial and emotional distress caused to their parents.
That's heartbreaking.
This scandal, which really came to light around 2019, revealed severe systemic bias embedded within the algorithm and a profound lack of human oversight within the system.
This had political fallout too, right?
Huge fallout. It led to the resignation of the entire Dutch government in 2021 and spurred widespread proposals for new algorithm regulators across Europe. It's a chilling reminder of the dangers of deploying algorithmic decision-making in public services without rigorous scrutiny, transparency, and continuous human oversight.
Because the biases get amplified.
The biases inherent in the training data, which reflected existing societal prejudices and administrative assumptions about fraud, were amplified by the AI, leading to truly devastating human consequences for innocent families. It just demonstrates how an opaque algorithm, even if built with good intentions, can become an instrument of profound injustice if its data and design aren't critically examined for bias.
And this issue of algorithmic bias isn't just confined to one country or one sector, is it? It's a global problem.
Pervasive, unfortunately. We see it, for example, in predictive policing.
Right, where AI tries to predict where crime will happen.
Exactly. But these AI-driven systems, relying on historical criminal data, consistently perpetuate and even amplify existing racial bias within law enforcement.
How does that happen?
Well, historical crime data isn't a neutral reflection of criminal activity across a population. It's actually a reflection of policing practices.
Ah, where the police spend their time.
Exactly. Communities with higher rates of targeted over-policing, often minority communities, will naturally have more recorded arrests and convictions, even if the underlying crime rate isn't disproportionately higher.
And discriminatory laws play a role too.
Discriminatory criminal laws and enforcement practices that disproportionately impact, for example, the Black community, further skew this data. The AI, in essence, learns and internalizes these existing societal biases from the historical data,
Creating a feedback loop.
leading to a self-fulfilling prophecy of increased surveillance and arrests in certain communities, rather than truly predicting crime impartially. The AI doesn't invent the bias, but it certainly learns, perpetuates, and scales it up.
And then there was that really jarring example with Google Photos of racial misidentification back in 2015.
Yes, that was a glaring error.
Wow.
Where its algorithm incorrectly labeled photos of people with darker skin complexions as gorillas.
Just awful and deeply offensive.
Absolutely. And these examples, taken together, they underscore that biases in AI models often stem not just from the inherent biases present in the vast, often unfiltered data sets they are trained on,
But also from the creators.
but also potentially from the lack of diversity, particularly gender and wealth biases, among others of the researchers and engineers who developed them.
So we need more diverse teams building AI.
It emphasizes the urgent need for greater diversity within the AI community, not just in technical skill, but in perspective and lived experience. This diversity is crucial for identifying, understanding, and mitigating these harmful biases throughout the entire AI development lifecycle.
So what are the solutions then? for this pervasive and dangerous problem of bias in AI. It sounds like it's not a simple fix at all.
It absolutely isn't simple, no.
Yeah.
And it requires a really multifaceted approach. Mitigation techniques suggested in our sources include things like actively curating and using truly diverse and representative data sets during training.
Better data in.
Better data in. Developing and applying specific debiasing algorithms that attempt to correct for statistical imbalances they find in the data.
Trying to mathematically remove the bias?
Sort of, yeah. Implementing fairness-aware modeling, which explicitly incorporates fairness metrics into the AI's objectives, alongside accuracy.
So fairness becomes a goal.
Exactly. And crucially, continual assessment of AI outputs for potential biases after deployment. It's not a one-and-done thing.
You have to keep checking.
It requires a proactive and ongoing commitment to identifying and correcting these issues throughout the AI lifecycle, from data collection and model design all the way to deployment and ongoing monitoring in the real world. It's a continuous process of auditing and refinement.
Okay, that makes sense. This brings us to some broader implications of AI fails that extend beyond these individual incidents.
The bigger picture.
Yeah. Beyond the giggles and the critical technical challenges we've discussed, AI's limitations and missteps have significant economic and societal shifts in play. Let's talk about the big one that concerns so many people: job displacement concerns.
The automation anxiety.
There's this widespread fear, and frankly understandable anxiety, that AI-driven automation will lead to mass job displacement, fundamentally altering the labor market as we know it.
And this is currently, I would argue, the greatest fear expressed against AI. And it's not entirely unfounded.
What do the numbers say?
Where a CNBC survey found that 27% of U.S. citizens believe AI will eliminate their jobs within 5 years. And for younger demographics, those age 18-24, that figure jumps even higher to 37%.
Wow. That's a lot of people worried.
It is. And beyond surveys, more concrete analysis, like from McKinsey, estimates that somewhere between 400 to 800 million jobs could be displaced globally by 2030.
800 million, globally.
Potentially. Requiring maybe up to 375 million people to switch job categories entirely. These are not small numbers.
Not at all.
They highlight profound ethical and societal implications concerning equity, opportunity, and the very structure of the global economy. Now, historically, new technologies have always displaced some jobs while creating new ones.
Like the Industrial Revolution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Massive shifts from agrarian to factory work. The question today isn't just about efficiency, but about how society adapts, how quickly new jobs are created, and how effectively we can provide for and reskill those most impacted by these shifts.
It raises big questions.
Big questions about universal basic income, extensive reskilling programs, new social safety nets. It's a societal challenge.
And it's not just traditional blue-collar or routine white-collar jobs anymore, is it? Creative industries are grappling fiercely with the rise of AI slop.
Ah, yes. AI slop.
Can you explain what that actually means and why it's such a concern for artists and creators?
Sure. AI slop is, well, it's a derogatory term, but it's increasingly common. It refers to low-quality AI-generated media, could be writing, images, audio, even entire music tracks.
Characterized by
A distinct lack of human effort, often, and just an overwhelming volume. It prioritizes speed and quantity over substance, originality, and quality, often resulting in generic, uninspired, or sometimes even nonsensical content.
We've seen examples.
We have. Like Deutsche Telekom apparently removing an entire TV series because of bad quality and really monotonous AI voice dubbing.
Yikes.
And on social media, AI slop just proliferates. Bizarre, uncanny valley images, like those viral shrimp Jesus images that flooded feeds for a while.
Shrimp Jesus, okay.
Yeah, don't ask.
Yeah.
But it makes it harder to discern genuinely original, human-created art amidst all the noise.
And then there was that fascinating case with the indie band, the Velvet Sundown.
Right. That amassed over 1 million Spotify listeners in weeks, seemingly out of nowhere.
What was the story there?
It was eventually revealed that the Velvet Sundown wasn't a traditional band at all. It was, quote, a synthetic music project guided by human creative direction and composed, voiced, and visualized with the support of artificial intelligence.
So AI-generated music, basically.
Largely, yes.
Yeah.
Intended as an artistic provocation, they said. But this situation, alongside the general proliferation of AI slop, it raises critical questions about intellectual property rights for AI-generated content.
Like, who owns it?
Who owns it? Can it even be copyrighted if no human created it from scratch? And it highlights the vulnerability of artists, writers, cultural professionals whose work can be mimicked, devalued, or just drowned out by the sheer volume of AI-generated content,
It forces a reevaluation of originality.
of what constitutes original art and who deserves to profit from it in a world where machines can generate endless variations.
How is this impacting the AI in the game industry specifically? We hear a lot about a fixation with the tech for content generation tools, 3D objects, pictures, and that leading to layoffs. Seems counterintuitive if the tech needs so much fixing.
It is a complex situation, and there's a critical distinction to make. Game companies are very interested in generative AI for content creation.
Like environments, assets.
Exactly. Generating environments, textures, character assets, 3D models, things like that. However, game developers generally don't use generative AI for core gameplay elements like game opponents or non-player characters
Yeah.
in PCs, because AI-generated opponents tend to be too unpredictable. They're often computationally expensive in real time, which would tank game performance. And frequently, they just result in an unfun, unplayable, or even frustrating experience for players because their behavior is so erratic or nonsensical within the game's rules.
So the layoffs aren't from AI replacing game designers.
Not generally for opponent AI, no. The layoffs we're seeing in the game industry are primarily linked to the use of generative tools for content creation, automating some aspects of art or asset generation.
But even then, as we discussed, it sounds like it creates more work sometimes because of those seven-fingered hands issues. The quality isn't always there.
In many cases, yes. As we discussed with the seven-fingered hands, even these generative tools often still require significant human touch-ups and quality control, fixing the goofiness, ensuring artistic coherence, making sure it fits the game's style.
So it's more of an assistant.
Ideally, while AI can certainly ease creative roadblocks, maybe help with burnout by generating initial concepts or variations, it's fundamentally meant as a tool to help and augment human capabilities, not replace them entirely.
But maybe that's not how management sees it.
Well, the current narrative around AI and job displacement often gets skewed by how CEOs or management might perceive and utilize AI, primarily to reduce workforce costs, rather than optimizing it as a synergistic creative partner that enhances human output.
The real value is in collaboration.
The real value, many argue, is in a human-AI collaboration that makes human creators more efficient and more creative, rather than just eliminating their roles.
Okay, now let's turn to where the stakes are perhaps highest. High-stakes environments and trust.
Critical areas.
When AI fails in areas like healthcare, finance, or transportation, the consequences can be profound, impacting lives, livelihoods, public safety. Let's begin with healthcare failures and trust.
A crucial domain.
IBM Watson for oncology, that was a highly publicized AI initiative, wasn't it? But it gained infamy.
It did. Infamy for giving unsafe and sometimes inappropriate treatment recommendations to cancer patients. It eventually led to its quiet discontinuation after significant investment.
So that high-profile AI fail really highlights something important.
It absolutely highlights the necessity of rigorous validation, transparency, and constant human oversight for AI systems in healthcare. The potential for harm from inaccurate or inappropriate recommendations is immense, particularly when dealing with life and death decisions.
It showed AI wasn't ready for that complexity.
It starkly exposed that complex medical decision-making requires far more than sophisticated pattern recognition from an AI. It demands nuanced clinical judgment, understanding of individual patient context, the ability to weigh conflicting evidence, and the ability to explain reasoning things Watson simply couldn't provide consistently or reliably.
And there's also a significant concern around data privacy in healthcare, right? Especially with how sensitive patient information is.
Yes, absolutely. There's a growing and legitimate concern that healthcare data collected by AI tools, maybe through medical transcription services, diagnostic platforms, consultation chatbots,
Could be misused.
could potentially be sold or cross-referenced with other databases, perhaps even pharmaceutical marketing databases. This could subtly or even overtly influence a doctor's clinical judgment,
Pushing certain treatments.
pushing them towards recommending certain medications or treatments based on commercial interests rather than purely patient needs. And that certainly constitutes a serious breach of patient confidentiality and medical ethics.
So the main risk is loss of trust.
The main risk here, fundamentally, is the potential loss of trust from both patients and medical professionals. And this is amplified by that black box problem we keep coming back to.
If you can't explain it, you can't trust it.
AI systems often produce results without adequately explaining how they arrived at them. This leads to a profound reluctance to trust the recommendations or to confidently explain findings to patients. Transparency is just paramount in a field where trust is the absolute foundational pillar of the patient-doctor relationship.
Moving to the financial sector, we've seen high-profile blunders there, too. Zillow's costly mistakes comes to mind.
Ah, yes, Zillow offers.
Their AI-driven property valuation tool, it inaccurately priced homes for their rapid buying and selling program, didn't it?
It did, leading to substantial financial losses for the company and their eventual exit from that iBuying part of the business.
So what went wrong there?
This AI disaster clearly illustrates the danger of relying solely on AI without continuous, robust human oversight in high-stakes financial decisions. Zillow Offers was an algorithmic home buying program. Their AI, the famous Zestimate, was designed to quickly estimate home values, allowing Zillow to make cash offers, buy homes, do minor renovations, and resell them quickly for a profit.
Sounds plausible.
In theory. But the AI often missed nuanced market conditions, micro-local property specifics, or crucial qualitative factors like the condition of the roof or foundation, or necessary deferred maintenance things human real estate experts understand intuitively.
So it overpaid.
In attempting to automate home buying based mainly on these valuations, Zillow acquired a vast portfolio of homes that were often significantly overvalued, especially as the market began to shift. This led to substantial financial losses reported in the hundreds of millions of dollars. It revealed the severe limitations of purely algorithmic trading in a complex, human-driven market like real estate, where local knowledge, negotiation, and those qualitative factors play such a huge role.
And finally, a highly visible and tragic example, self-driving car accidents.
Very sensitive area.
We all remember the 2018 Uber self-driving car fatality in Arizona. That was the first death involving a self-driving car, wasn't it, where the safety driver was reportedly distracted?
That's correct. And while the human safety driver was ultimately found liable in that specific case,
it raised bigger questions.
That incident, and others since, have brought up broader, complex questions of liability and accountability for autonomous vehicles. Who is responsible when an AI driving system makes a mistake? The owner, the manufacturer, the software developer.
And the challenges are huge.
The challenges for self-driving cars are incredibly multifaceted. Their social acceptability, public trust fluctuates wildly with each reported accident.
Understandably.
There's the unpredictable nature of real-world traffic hit. Human drivers, pedestrians, cyclists doing unexpected things. Highly variable road and weather conditions, rain, snow, fog, poorly marked lanes. And crucial cybersecurity concerns the terrifying prospect of a compromised vehicle being used maliciously.
So despite the potential benefits...
And the potential benefits are significant, potentially improved road safety by reducing human error, greater independence for the elderly or disabled, reduced traffic congestion.
Every accident hits hard.
Every accident severely impacts public acceptance and highlights the profound need for these systems to not just see the road using sensors, but to truly understand and react with human-level nuance and judgment to the myriad unpredictable elements of real-world driving.
They need that common sense again.
They require a common-sense understanding of human behavior, risk assessment, and ethical decision-making in ambiguous situations that current AI still profoundly lacks.
Okay, so after exploring all these hilarious mishaps and also these incredibly serious implications, let's pivot to the path forward learning from our fails.
Right. What do we do about it?
It seems abundantly clear from everything we've discussed that continuous intelligent human oversight is absolutely essential for AI to be trustworthy and beneficial.
That's truly the core takeaway from all these diverse examples.
Wow.
Continuous human oversight and intervention are critical across all domains where AI has significant impact, from healthcare and finance to legal services and transportation.
To keep it on track.
To ensure AI models don't stray off course, hallucinate dangerously, perpetuate harmful biases, or make catastrophically flawed decisions. The EU ethical guidelines for trustworthy AI, for instance, explicitly call for human agency and oversight.
What does that mean exactly?
It emphasizes that AI should support, not replace, human decision-making and autonomy. It's about empowering humans to manage AI responsibly, to be the ultimate arbiters of its decisions, and crucially, to have the ability and authority to step in when it inevitably stumbles or when its recommendations don't make sense in the real-world context.
And it seems like regulators globally are starting to catch up, recognizing that ethics can't just be an afterthought.
Exactly. Ethics needs to be a fundamental pillar of AI development and deployment. We're seeing significant moves in regulation.
Like the EU AI Act.
Absolutely. The EU AI Act, which became law in August 2024, is a landmark piece of legislation. It's risk-based. It mandates things like informing individuals when they're interacting with an AI system. It enforces strict quality standards for training data specifically to mitigate bias. And it imposes higher regulatory burdens and compliance requirements on high-risk AI systems,
Like those in critical areas.
like those in critical infrastructure, law enforcement, medical devices, or employment systems. The broader EU ethics guidelines for trustworthy AI focus on 7 key requirements:
Okay.
human agency and oversight, technical robustness and safety, privacy and data governance, transparency, diversity, non-discrimination, fairness, environmental and societal well-being, and accountability. Their whole strategy is explicitly to use ethics as a key pillar to ensure and develop a trustworthy AI.
And in the U.S.?
Similarly, in the U.S., the proposed Algorithmic Accountability Act aims for greater transparency and control. It would require impact assessments to identify and mitigate biases, ensure data privacy, and provide mechanisms for accountability when AI decisions cause harm.
So the goal is ethical alignment.
These regulations, developed and developing, are designed to ensure AI is built and deployed ethically, aligning with societal values and fundamental rights. Because, as we know, knowledge is most valuable when understood and applied, and that applies equally to AI's outputs. They must be verifiable, responsible, and auditable.
And part of that understanding involves lifting the lid on that black box problem we discussed earlier, the inability to see why an AI made a particular decision.
Which necessitates a strong push for transparency and explainable AI.
Explainable AI.
Exactly. It's crucial to develop XAI tools and methodologies. And this isn't just about showing the raw data the AI used. It involves systematically documenting the input data, the specific model logic applied, and the corresponding outcomes in a way that humans can understand.
Making it less opaque.
The goal is to improve transparency, making AI systems understandable and explainable not just to technical experts, but also to the general public and, importantly, to the professionals who need to use and trust these systems in their daily work.
So doctors, lawyers, financial advisors.
If a doctor, a lawyer, or a financial advisor can't understand why an AI made a particular recommendation, or how it arrived at a specific conclusion, especially in critical
It's
applications,
hard to rely on it.
it becomes incredibly difficult to rely on it responsibly, to explain it effectively to a patient or client, or to justify its use if something goes wrong. XAI is fundamentally about fostering that necessary trust through clarity and interpretability.
So it's not just about building smarter AI, but about building trustworthy AI.
That's the key shift in thinking needed.
Ultimately, what does all this mean for the future of human interaction with AI? Is it a replacement scenario or something more synergistic?
I firmly believe, and the evidence suggests, the future truly lies in human-AI synergy, a collaborative partnership rather than an outright replacement model.
Augmenting humans, not replacing them.
Exactly. Instead of leading to widespread fear of job loss, the goal for responsible AI deployment should be to support human-AI synergy through effective change management. This means helping humans develop the appropriate skills to manage AI responsibly and integrate it effectively into their workflows as a powerful tool.
It's a constant reminder of AI's limits.
It is a constant reminder that AI, despite its truly impressive advances in pattern recognition, data processing, and content generation, still fundamentally lacks common sense, true comprehension, empathy, creativity in the human sense, and the nuanced understanding that humans bring to complex, ambiguous, or ethically charged situations.
It's not a general intelligence.
Think of AI not as an all-purpose mind, but perhaps more like a smartphone, full of incredibly specialized, powerful apps. Each app, image generation, language translation, data analysis, does one thing exceptionally well, but none of them, nor even all of them together, are a substitute for the holistic intelligence, the critical thinking, the emotional intelligence, and the foundational human judgment that only humans possess.
So the biggest fail would be to mistake the tool for the user.
The biggest fail, perhaps, would be to assume AI is more than a sophisticated tool, rather than seeing it and developing it as a powerful partner that augments, rather than substitutes, our unique and irreplaceable human capabilities.
And that wraps up our deep dive into future fails. When AI gets it hilariously wrong, wow. We've journeyed through chatbot meltdowns, truly surreal generated worlds, and even some incredibly serious legal, medical, and financial missteps.
Quite the tour.
These aren't just funny anecdotes, are they? They are absolutely crucial insights into the technology's current state, its inherent limitations, and really its vital future direction.
Absolutely. And that leads me to a final provocative thought for you, our listener, to maybe mull over.
Okay, leave us with something to think about.
Considering how frequently AI hallucinates or fundamentally misunderstands basic human concepts, from a 6-year-old's simple shopping spree request to literally making up a body part in a medical context, what does it truly mean for us to trust a system that doesn't actually know what it knows or genuinely understand what it's saying?
That's a deep question.
How do we build genuine, robust trust in an increasingly AI-driven world when even the simplest things can go so spectacularly, hilariously, or indeed dangerously wrong? And this raises an even perhaps more unsettling question. What surprising failures are we not yet seeing?
Because the systems are too complex.
Because the AI systems are too complex or too opaque for us to even detect them right now. It's really a question of continuous scrutiny, demanding transparency, and ongoing accountability for all of us as we navigate this rapidly evolving landscape together.
That is fascinating and a bit chilling, as always. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And listeners, if you think this was wild, wait till our next deep dive when AI writes your love horoscope. You do not want to miss that one.
Oh boy, that sounds promising.
Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the deep dive for more fascinating explorations like this one. We'll catch you next time.